welcome, 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 everyone, beautiful hearts. We are remembering Lemuria. We are awakening Lemuria, and we're so glad that you can be here with us. The dolphins and the whales join us because this is a vibration that we all remember. And no wonder we feel such an affinity to the dolphins and the whales. And no wonder they bring us such joy and wisdom and healing as well. I want to welcome everyone to this beautiful sacred space. And my co-host, Lori Rayon. Thank you, Lori. Thank you for being here. Say hello, please.
Everyone, I'm Lori Rayon, and I'm here with Master Cat Puda, and we're just so delighted to come together today in this way. Loren and I have been planning the retreat that's coming up in 2 weeks for many months, and it's just been a heart-opening journey to find these incredible speakers that have agreed to participate and to bring their love and wisdom and their knowledge of Lemuria. You know, we believe that we're recreating heaven on earth right now, which was, in a sense, Lemuria, you know, that first golden age. And we all have a piece in that. So our desire today, I think, is that you'll find your piece in the puzzle, because we couldn't do it without every single one of you. Open your hearts and feel the love, and welcome.
Open your heart. Love, oh my goodness. It just warms my heart so much that I just feel like crying often. And I just want to share that for me personally, the word Lemuria, when I first heard it, 10 years had gone by from the first time I heard it. So when I heard it a second time, well, let's just say the first time I heard it, I was fully intrigued. I was living on the island of Guam in the Pacific, and I realized, wow, there's remnants of Lemuria, various things that nobody could explain, but they do go back to Lemuria. Even in Pohnpei, there's a sacred site, Nan Madol, which is very mysterious, and even the locals don't know what it was. And so these traces, these crumbs that lead us back to Lemuria are truly heartwarming. 10 years after I heard the word Lemuria, I rediscovered it again, and it opened me up to my soul family. It really is quite magical. And the word Lemuria literally melts my heart. And I know that if anyone feels the same way or even questions what Lemuria was, you were there. Lemuria is in your heart, and this is what we are awakening again. So I want to thank everyone for being here and remembering Lemuria. So now I'm going to introduce our panel discussion. Beautiful participants. These are the speakers who will be joining us in this event that's coming up on June 19th and 20th, and also the 21st and the 22nd, the window of the Solstice Gateway. So magical. Lauren Time is here, and she is author of beautiful books on Lemuria and so much more. Lauren is here. We'll have her speak in just a moment. San Ra, the Lemurian priestess, is with us. And if anyone has heard San Ra sing, you know she is singing us awake and into our Lemurian remembrance. We also have the Lemurian Fellowship members here, Sally and Conrad and Bob. And I want to say, you guys are in Ramona, California. My aunt lives there, right down the street on Mussy Grade Road.
Oh, yeah.
That giant fire, I think it was in 2015,
Yes.
2013, there was a fire. It took her home out. It took many homes out. But the amazing thing about the Lemurian Fellowship is that fire went completely around your compound. Magic. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. And I was driving in your car. Conrad, I think we've met. We did meet. My aunt came over with you and we met briefly.
Really?
Outside, but I was driving on the road and I had learned about Lemuria and I was very part of Lemuria, and I was chewing a piece of gum, and right as I drove by your place with the sign Lemurian Fellowship, I bit my tongue. And I it's like, wow, Lemurian Fellowship, oh my God. And I had been driving by that area for decades, and finally this got my attention. So another magical moment with that. So welcome. We're going to have you folks speak in a moment as well. And then there's Jean Ang, who is very Lemurian, working with the Arcturians, but Jean goes to Hawaii all the time. Jean goes to all the sacred sites on the planet, literally awakening the remembrance of these sites within all of us as well. So Jean, we're excited to hear from you today. And thank you for being here. And each one of you will share a few moments of your inspiration for everyone. And I wanted to also welcome Karsten. Karsten, you can go ahead and show your video, sir, if you will. And you can say hello. Karsten actually is a beautiful soul as well. He works with the Rainbow Light Body and so much more. And he is part of our panel as well. Hi, Karsten. Beautiful. All right. So as we gather here today, we're going to start with the people that we've introduced in this order. And Lori and I will come and wrap it up. But first, I wanted to say to Lori, this is your dream. So I would like you, Lori, to start. This has been something that has driven you for many, many years, and it's coming about. This is our second annual, but share with us more of your inspiration on this event.
I will. But just before I start, I want to tell you Sherry is in the chat room here. She says she's here. Sherry Mosley.
She is beautiful, driving in her car right now to Pismo Beach. So she is on the Lemurian highway. Sherry, we're going to make you a panelist as well. Awesome. Okay, she's coming on in. All right.
Okay, good. So I want to share just briefly that, I was born with the ability to speak to animals, and it was wonderful, but it was also very confusing because I thought everybody could do it. So, and I grew up in rural Nebraska, and it's cowboy country, and I was just very confused with the way the animals were treated. And I don't mean any disrespect or negativity. I just want to say I was confused because my dream was to have my own horse, and before I got my own horse, I was with my uncle's horses. They were my teachers, and I just had these incredible conversations with them, also with the dogs and cats, and that started my journey. So over the years, I think 1992, the soul we know as Seth embodied into a cat that came to me as the first Puda. Actually, his name was Pootie at the time, and has incarnated since that 5 times. And I'm here at some point. I'll show her. She's sleeping next to me. She's in her third female body now, and she's 15 years old. But the soul has continued throughout my life and has been my master teacher. And every day I learn something from the soul, because I think clear back in the years I lived in Mexico and I was having my spiritual awakening, I took a stick and I wrote in the sand, sitting next to my cat, my mentor, "I am a cosmologist." And that's what she wanted to say, that she's an expert on the cosmos. On this, now she teaches classes on the starseed experiment and how humanity chose to come to Lemuria, the first golden age, or live in Mother Mu. There's so many names for it. But the heart opening occurred for me in 2010, where I received a very clear message from my guides and from my partner at that time, was the first female Puda. And she clearly said, "You're to go to the Big Island on March 3rd, which, by the way, is her birthday. She's been born on March 3rd 5 times. And we're to go to the volcano, and we're to bring up the Lemurian egg." And that's how it started. I was like, what? I was like, this. So I had met Judith Moore. Some of you know of her, Grandma Chandra, and some people I greatly respected, considered my mentors and teachers. And I called them, and they all agreed we were to go, and that the 3 of us would, sort of master this first Lemurian retreat. And it was called Awakening the Golden Lemuria, and it was on the Big Island. And I was terrified. It was my first big retreat. I didn't, know how to do all of that in those days. Well, now here we are years later, and I have done 10 Lemurian retreats in a row on the various Hawaiian islands until the pandemic came. So I haven't been back now for 3 years, but I'm definitely going back next year. So it's an amazing journey to meet the kahunas and how it's opened up for me to channel my memories. Mostly have come through my partner, the cat, and through the whales and the dolphins, showing me the path that I was meant to be on, which is working mainly with dolphins and whales, who I consider the elders on our planet. They know everything all the time. They access your Akashic records. They're the leaders in helping us restore these memories to ourselves. This is, again, of course, my opinion, and I just want to share that with you. And they're incredible healers. So over these last 10 years, or it's going to be 12 now, of doing Lemurian retreats, I have opened my heart and opened my life to these memories, and have had continued memories come back of what it was like to live there. And it was back before anybody hurt anybody, so to speak. There were no lies. We lived in total and complete integrity. And this golden light, we were able to swim, long distances underwater. Some people could fly. My dear friend, some of you know, Dr. Todd Ovakaitis, who now is an amazing worldwide scientist. He was part of our retreat last year, created the healing temples. And he also is one of the people that's on the Cryon team. Now he's doing similar work with stem cells. He remembers all of that, and he created the Lemurian choir, which I was a part of, remembering the tones of creation. And of course, the ultimate tone is the whale. So, I mean, I could go on and on, but if you have a sensation in your body, that's why you're here today. You're being called here. My partner, Master Puda, is saying that each of us has a piece in the puzzle that's sort of being put back together now, which is really a bridge to the new world. And we're halfway there at least. I mean, we're already on the road, on the bridge. There's no turning back. She just said the other day, we're in the astral court of the birth of the new deity. And I'm like, what? So, I mean, I get some pretty amazing stuff from this being, but, I do believe that we're in the birth canal of the new earth now. And you're all here with us. We're all together. No one's better than anybody. No one knows more than anybody else. Some of us just have more memories right now. That's why we're doing this, is to share our memories and to share our love with you. Because the more we come together at events like this, the quicker the earth is changing, right? And we're starting to live that new reality of Lemuria. So blessings to all of you. We love you. The retreat will be available to you if you want to come to our area, which is really Orange County, Laguna Beach, Dana Point areas where the retreat's being held, or you can do it online the first 2 days. And we're just excited. Many blessings.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you so much for that. Okay, we're going to get to our other panelists. And so panelist speakers, please let me interject here and bring Sherry in, because she stopped her car so she could just pop in and say hello. Sherry Mosley is a transmitter of higher dimensional frequencies, activating people and actually doing virtual retreats in Lemuria as well. Sherry, say hello, and then we'll let you get on your way. We're so glad you could pop in and say hello to all of us.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, wonderful. This is so beautifully synchronistic, because you messaged me. I didn't know this call was happening, and I'm driving down from Oregon, and I realized I was going to be at Mount Shasta the minute this is happening. So I'm literally, I'll give you guys a little view here.
Wow.
I am literally looking at the mountain, just dipped in the waters and connected to the spirits there. So they are here, and the Lemurians are here.
Well,
Saying hello. Yes. So very much. What?
Perfect timing. Unplanned.
Perfect timing. Unplanned. Divine plan. So it's just a sign of, the community that we're coming together as on this new earth, and so excited. I'm on my trip down to Southern California to join with all of you in person. We're going to do the Lemurian Temple of Light transmission when I'm there, and just connecting to also the beautiful vortexes that are down there that also come through the waters and connect up through the Hawaiian Islands. So what a blessing it is to connect with everybody, and I hope you can feel the vibes and the energies coming through here today. It's just amazing and beautiful.
Very
yeah.
cool. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. We're looking forward to seeing you there at the retreat and all of that. And thank you so much for bringing in the energies of Mount Shasta. Again, so cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So love to everybody, and yeah.
We will be connecting to Mount Shasta during this retreat. Last year we were physically there and had the retreat there at Mount Shasta. This year we're going to be connecting energetically. In our beach ceremony, we're going to journey to Telos, which is, of course, underneath Mount Shasta, to connect to the Lemurians. And anyway, it's so great that you're there, grounding all this energy.
Yes, it's so aligned. I love it. It's beautiful. Yeah. So yeah, love to everyone. I'm going to head on my way. Continue driving here, and I'll see you all very soon.
Joyful journey.
Have a safe journey. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
So much love. Okay. Bye for now.
Bye. All right. There's just so many beautiful comments coming into the chat box. We encourage our audience to check those out. And so as we speak with the speakers, you guys can all share why Lemuria is so important to you, how it is significant in your life, and what maybe your memories are of that. And then there's a question here that I know many of us have. What is each of our role? If you want to share what, if we feel this connection to Lemuria, what could be more specifics on each of our parts to play? How do we move forward in this awakening, this remembrance of Lemuria? So we're going to go next to Lauren. Hi, Lauren, and tell us about your book and how you got involved with Lemuria.
Hi. Now you pronounce your name Loren?
Loren, yes.
And Lori. Hi, guys. And hi, all of you. I'm so pleased to be here. I started remembering Lemuria when I was 15. When I was 5, I had a near-death experience. And when I came out of my coma, I was very psychic and started remembering past lives. And so I remember 127 past lives, including Lemuria. So I just was like playing with Lemuria, and back in the 50s, there's nothing you can read about any of this stuff, at least I couldn't. And so I'm 76, so that was a long time ago. And at one point after I'd done 3 of my books, that my elders, who are beings who work with me, they're Lemurian elders, and they told me they wanted me to write a book on Lemuria. And it's like, no, I'm too tired. It's too much work. I'm not making any money. Forget it. And they went, okay. But then they tricked me. And so I wrote it anyway. And it turns out that of my 14 books, it's the most popular book I have. And people from all over the planet call me to have sessions and talk to me and find out, am I Lemurian and so forth. And so I remember very distinctly my time there in great detail. And I know some people that were there that I know now today. And so for me, I feel like Grandma Lemuria, it's like I am Lemuria. I am the personification of the place. And my job is to write books so that people can read about it. Also to and pardon my voice, I have spasmodic vocal cords, so they act up. And so one of my jobs is to teach people how to embody the characteristics of Lemuria into themselves, and then that shifts themselves. And I also believe that Lemuria is arising, and that's what my elders tell me too. And so during the lockdown, they said, we want you to write a book called, we want you to teach classes on how to become a Lemurian, step-by-step details, how to do it. And I said, okay. And so I created that. And then they said, okay, now we want you to make a book out of that. So it's called Living in the New Lemuria. So that's in print on Amazon. And then they said, okay, now we want you to do some YouTube videos to so that people can do the exercises from your book. It's like, cool. And so to hear that, you guys are doing all of this stuff, because I didn't know very much. And I'm just so grateful that we are here doing this work together as Lemurians, as a group. And one of my dear friends has written a number of books on, worked with Mayan elders and timekeepers and stuff. And so there's been 9 waves of creation, and the 9th wave happened in 2011. And ever since then, we are at the epitome of where we're supposed to be going, which is unity, harmony, and working with Creator, Source, and each other. And so that's what my job is all about, and I'm completely committed to this. And then just a few months ago, my elder said, "Okay, now we want you to write a novel on what it, so it's a story about living in Lemuria, which has been quite an interesting experience to actually write this." And the interesting thing is, since we didn't talk much, it's like, okay, how do we put in, conversations? So I thought, well, little thought bubbles or something. And they said, so when you're done, write a screenplay, hire someone to do a screenplay, and then find a producer who's going to make a movie of this. So that's our goal now, is to make a movie. And that way people all over the planet will be able to experience this too. So, and I want feedback and help from anybody who's willing to do anything with this project.
Oh my goodness, that is so bold and courageous and so cool.
Isn't it?
I can
Well,
see Netflix now. Yeah.
they say do something, I go, okay.
See, I love that you're so in tune that way. And that is the Lemurian way as well, as listening to the call of the heart and taking action. I'm sure you're going to have a ton of support. We've got beautiful talent here in our group. So guys, let us know if you need to get in touch with Lauren. We'll help you get in contact with her. She just did a shout out to call for help on all of that. So thank you. Okay.
Lauren, type in your website to the chat room. People are asking.
Oh, okay. Where do I do that?
And again, I just want to support you in the creation of this film.
Okay,
In
so
2015,
where
we
do
were
I
told to make a film.
Under
Go to the chat room,
in the chat,
chat,
Yeah.
and then you can type in at the bottom.
Okay.
it says to everyone, make sure it says to everyone, toggle the blue thing so the text goes to everyone. Okay, cool. Thank you. We'll put your email in there too, if you don't mind.
Do that. Thank
Say
you.
our group. Okay, cool. Thank you. If anyone has questions, we're going to get to questions after we go through our panelists. So stay tuned and we'll answer those. Next up is San Ra, the Lemurian priestess. San Ra and I met a decade ago, and it's such a deep, heartfelt connection with San Ra. I just remembered being with San Ra, and when you hear her sing, wow, it's magic. Hi, San Ra, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much, Loren. I'm sorry you live so far away now, because now when I drive up through Colorado, I can't see you anymore.
I'm with you.
Thank you. Well, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you. I'm one of the Lemurian Priestess Circle of 13 for people that aren't aware of me. And in 2011, they contacted me and said, we are the Circle of Priestesses that was in Lemuria, and you are one of us. You're the only one that's still embodied, but we're all together. And now that we've reached you at the right time, we want you to channel the group so that we can get information out to people about Lemuria. So I started doing channeling, and it just progressed. And then they started giving me songs and sounds, and that is the most fun thing. I should sing maybe the Latte Na. Okay, so the Latte Na was the first song they gave me. It's Latena, Latte Na, and it's a song of unity. So it's very simple. As you're listening, you can just take it in and then maybe remember it. But this will help bring all of that unity of Lemuria together. Latena, 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 na, Latena, Latena, na. Latena, 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 na, Latena, Latena, na, Latena, 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 na, Latena, Latena, na, la Latena, 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 La la te na 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 te na 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 te na. La la te na 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 te na 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 te na. La la te na.
It's beautiful.
I always kind of rock back and forth when I chant.
Feel it. Mm.
So there's a lot of these songs. The Priestess has given me many over the year, and Loren, you were the first one to record a lot of those on the videos so many years ago. So thank you. But these songs are also like therapeutic because they really awaken from within us Lemurian energies for whatever is the purpose of the chant. When I do the event in June, we're going to be talking about the feminine because now, Lemuria, as we all know, was balanced in its feminine and masculine, but largely feminine energy. So a lot of what we're bringing forth from Lemuria is that balance and the feminine energy, because we need that for a new golden age, the feminine to be free and expressive in all ways, verbally, but just from our energy field, from our auras. So that feminine energy is absolutely needed. And the feminine from the women, but also the men are holding feminine too. So we have these encodements that are within us. And now the time is right for these encodements to help activate whatever we have to bring forth to the Lemurian golden age. I mean, it's a golden age. There's many energies coming forth, but we are here to bring that Lemurian peace. So that is really important. So there will be a lot more sounds and songs because some of the songs and the priestesses want me to bring through some of the light language today because that also sends energy to activate and awaken within. So we'll bring some of that in for people to hear. But Lemuria and that feminine energy is so necessary for the flow and the transformational force of light that feminine brings. And in Lemuria, all were honored, as I think Lori was saying. All were honored. All people were honored. All animals, all earth, all the skies, the waters, everything was honored. So we need to get back to that. And as we are awakening that within, it assists us in bringing that through the light, the columns of light, which are all over. They're all over in Lemuria, but all over the planet, and also the grid systems and the vortexes. So these energies are awakening on the earth, within the humans, within the animals, the trees, everyone. So the light language will come forth now, which is feel this activation. Hietakaana ushipatika aliana atakutukuya shashashaliana amatikitika ala ana uwisha kataka ami anada upish anana Lapatikatika ana utia kata ama ush tititiana apuisha ataka amutia hialala mumunia hanakai shatakai. And receive the blessing from the priestesses and all Lemurian elders and beings. Receive the blessing. So I'm very grateful to be with
Beautiful.
who is bringing this through. And as we are working together, it's a synergistic effect. Us as the panelists, but also of all the people that are listening. because we all have our part. So as it comes together, then there's more and more and more energy just building. So thank you guys for bringing everybody together, and thank everyone for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. We were singing Latte Na with you for those of us who know it. And by the end of our live stream or this event in person, we will know it by heart. I still sing it. I sing it all the time, sister. I really do. And I think of you and I know it by heart. So it's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorraine.
Thank you, Sandra. Your work is such a blessing. I'm so delighted joining us again this year. It's going to be fantastic.
I'm excited. Yes, thanks so much.
Okay, beautiful. Let's go to the Lemurian Fellowship and have you folks share on your mission. It's quite extraordinary. You do wonderful work as well. Hi.
Hi, I'm Conrad. These are my friends, Bob and Sally. And would you please let me know if you can hear us okay? Because I had trouble on the last one with the volume. We're very pleased to have this opportunity to tell you about the Lemurian Fellowship, which is a preparatory school for Lemurian initiation under the guidance of the masters of the Lemurian Brotherhood, or mystery school, which, as you may know, is one of 7 mystery schools that works with those of us here on Earth. And when we received the information about this retreat, one of the things that was in there struck me quite deeply, and that is there was a little phrase in there that said, "Prepare to remember and renew your soul's vows." And let's see if I can get this right. I want to misquote it. And realign with your soul's mission. And in our understanding, that's part of the purpose of life for human beings on Earth. So we wanted to focus on that during this retreat. And one of the ways that we felt we could do this is by telling you about a person who has a great deal of soul development, who is the founder of our fellowship, Robert D. Stell. He was a man of great accomplishment and was chosen by the masters to begin the Lemurian Fellowship. He wasn't really a child prodigy or anything, but his his adventures are quite something. When he was about 6, I guess it was, maybe 5, he walked up to the back porch where his parents were holding a rattlesnake in his arms. And so this was one indication of his connection with nature. And it was only a little later that he began to see things and talk about them with his parents. But as a result of many spankings, one too many spankings, he decided to keep these things to himself. So he was a true clairvoyant. He was a world traveler eventually. Traveled to many of the places you've mentioned, Pohnpei, Malden Island, Chichen Itza, and others. And he was an author, a healer, and just a very accomplished human being. So we felt like if we talked about his life and his accomplishments, it would be inspiring to all of us to know how much you can accomplish as a human being and what the purpose of human evolution actually is. So the fellowship teaches the teachings, the Lemurian teachings that came through Dr. Stell. We try to practice these and live these. And as a result, we have a great life here, deep feelings of peace. And it's very inspiring to live among other people who are also trying to improve themselves and to help other people in the world, especially those of us who live here at the fellowship and at Gateway, which is the home of the Lemurian Order, which is the student organization of the fellowship. So these are some of the things that we want to talk about at the retreat, and hope that they can be inspiring to others as they are to us. And now my friend Bob will tell you a little bit about his part of our talk.
Well, first, I just want to say it was great to hear how everyone seems to have a connection with Lemuria from a different direction or along a different channel. And I'd like to tell you how I came in touch with the Lemurian Fellowship. This was 38 years ago. And I was searching, and for various reasons, I feel I was led to get in touch with the Lemurian Fellowship. And what resonated with me was that the purpose of the Lemurian Fellowship, which was founded by, as Conrad explained, an advanced individual who was contacted by Lemurian masters, the purpose is to help build a better world, a new civilization of thought and action. And we do that by recreating ourselves into better people, more patient, more kind, more cooperative, which of course seems quite unusual in today's day and age, what we read in the newspaper and what we watch on TV. One of the things we'll be talking about at the conference is the history of the founding of Lemuria, the first civilization on Earth, as it was given to our founder, Robert Stell, by Lemurian masters. And we'll go on and talk about some of the spiritual accomplishments of that civilization and how it lasted for 50,000 years, reaching untold heights that no other civilization in recorded history has attained. These spiritual accomplishments have been preserved, and the ones that are relevant for the Lemurian Brotherhood, of which we're not. Lemurian Fellowship is an earthly channel for the Lemurian Brotherhood, also known as the Lemurian Mystery School. These teachings that are helpful to recreating that wonderful civilization that existed back then and to recreating ourselves into better people were released in 1936 by the Lemurian Fellowship. We'll also go into what eventually happened to the civilization, why after being a superb civilization for 50,000 years, it eventually began to fail. And then the continent itself, which was located in the Pacific Ocean, submerged. But more important is that there's lessons for us to learn from what happened to Lemuria back then. And we'll go into that. And I know a couple of people here, including Conrad and Loren, talked about some specific islands in the Pacific. And there are a lot of mysteries in the Pacific Ocean, and at least some of these islands are likely above the sunken continent, what remains above the sunken continent. And we're going to go into some of the mysteries in these islands, and we're going to be using a large map that was created by our founder, who was able to draw the map of Lemuria from the Akashic record. And it shows where the continent of Mu, or Lemuria, is located in relation to the current landforms that surround the Pacific Ocean. So it should be a fascinating talk with a lot of new information. and we look forward to being there with you.
Hi, I'm Sally. I don't have a lot to add, except one of the things that's interesting is that we've been told that at this time there are a lot of individuals incarnating in order to bring forward the Lemurian past, what was great in Lemuria. And there is every indication that this is happening. And I'm sorry, I don't remember which one of you spoke of this, but being in the birth canal or whatever of what is occurring now. And it's interesting that, at this point in time, so much is known about Lemuria that, when some of us in our 70s, wouldn't have even heard of this 50, 60 years ago. And it's very exciting that Lemuria is becoming better known to the world, because there is a forward movement, there is a forward push, and there's every reason to believe that the great ones are encouraging mankind to bring back what was great in Lemuria. And in any way we can do this, it's really important. And this is the reason why the Lemurian teachings, as were brought forth by the Lemurian Brotherhood in 1936, were so important to bring out at that time. And what you all are doing is as important too. And I just want to show you just very briefly this map. You won't be able to see it too well, but Bob and Conrad and I are going to bring a larger copy of this map. And Dr. Stell was able to see this clairvoyantly in the 1940s. And then Bob is going to show you a map that was drawn by National Geographic in the 1960s that is so similar. It's very, very interesting. Anyway, it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time to be a Lemurian, or to know that you are a Lemurian. Anyway, look forward to seeing you all in person and to meeting you and to seeing all the people that are going to be a part of this retreat. So thank you.
Exciting. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're looking forward to that. It brings to mind Gayla Ryder. She's no longer with us. She's with us in the etheric. She mentioned she loved Hawaii as well, Kauai, and she told a story of how the last queen of Hawaii was married to a Western man, a white man from San Francisco, and they had maps of Lemuria. Isn't that fascinating? They had maps of Lemuria. And on the north shore of Kauai, there were divers. You can't get there. It's pretty rough with the waters, but there are steps and roads underneath the water there on northern Kauai. So more will be revealed. We're looking forward to your presentation about all those islands in the Pacific.
Well, you can ask Bob a lot of questions. He's got all kinds of information.
Very cool.
Okay.
All right. So if our audience has any questions around that, please take note and put them in the Q&A box.
Okay, and we did put the fellowship's email address. If anybody wants to email us and ask any questions, we're happy to answer them for you.
Very cool. Thank you so much. And Jacqueline says, if you need a scuba diver or a free diver, I live in the islands.
Oh, wow.
Oh, for Noah. Maybe you know Heidi Hirsch. Maybe you know Heidi Hirsch from Honolulu. She's retired from NOAA, but you guys are both divers working for NOAA. You may know each other. Okay, cool. All right. You've been told to connect. Yeah, see, I'll connect you with Heidi if you're in the islands. Okay, I'll connect you. Cool. All right. So here we have Gene Ang with us as well, and very Lemurian in his soul. Hi, Gene. Welcome.
Hello, Ren. Hi, Lori. Hi, everyone. It's great to hear everyone's presentation here, and great to connect here with the audience. And yes, I'm very excited about this presentation. And Laura and I have been working together maybe now close to maybe 10 years or so, but or a little less, but still seems like quite a lot. Maybe returning from a past life or past lives, working together, also maybe in Lemuria. But my presentation will be a little bit more galactic in origin. Of course, that was probably also a big influence in Lemuria. And like Lorenz said, I have been connecting particularly with the Arcturians, but with also other galactic beings, and have had actually a very interesting dream last night show up. I don't usually dream a lot actually about the galactics. I tend to connect in other ways, like through shamanic journeying. We're actually going to different sacred sites, and sometimes we actually see them physically in the night sky and receive the downloads. But in the dream, I was seeing with a group of people a number of ships. They actually look like the ships that you would see in a science fiction movie. And then some interesting kind of manifestations in the water that actually just would appear, actually making shapes out of the seawater. That disappeared. And then in the dream, I was asked to use my cell phone to take photos of these shapes that were being manifested in the water. Anyways, I thought it was very much connected with today's presentation and the retreat that we'll be having. I'll be coming in from online, actually, and I think this is just interesting because originally I wanted to be part of the in-person retreat and then found out that it was at Dana Point. In fact, I live 20 minutes right now. I'm 20 minutes away from Dana Point in Rancho Mission Viejo. So there's sort of this spatial connection. But I'll actually be in Crestone holding the transmission as part of this retreat from there, where I'm also holding a retreat, which is also galactic in origin. So I think there's this galactic grid that I call being created from everyone who's both there at Dana Point for the retreat, and then also around the globe who might be connecting online. And then hopefully, I think maybe Lauren and I are doing a switch. She lived in Colorado, and maybe I'm going over to Colorado to create some resonance from her home state. And then you'll be in my home state, or so-called. So there's a lot of switching around. But I think that's one of the things that Lauren had posed a great question, like how each of us are bringing through this new Lemurian energy into our current time. And I think a lot of the trips that Lauren mentioned that I've been holding have created an opportunity both for others and myself to remember these codes. And I think a lot of the theme that people here on the panel were bringing up about remembrance, remembering our past lives or our past encoding, both in Lemuria and many other lifetimes, bringing them now. And then as part of this transmission, which I've just called the Galactic transmission from sacred sites, what I call the future memories, which I think PMH Atwater, the near-death researcher, called one of her books. We're also remembering the future in our future time here in this incarnation, as well as future lives, perhaps, where we'll also be, again, bringing sort of the light onto the planet. So I'm really looking forward to our time together.
Cool. Thank you, Jean. Really amazing how you talk about a multitasker on task, because you travel, but yet you're tireless in how you offer and give so much of your wisdom and your sharing and your frequency, because you don't get jet lag, but yet you go to, Iceland and then you can come and be on a webinar the very next day and just have it all together. It's really quite amazing. And it's the frequency that you hold that allows you to do it. So we're excited to have you a part of this as we weave energies on the planet. And I know the live stream, those who join us via the live stream are absolutely adding their energy as well. We're all coming together. We will probably most likely have a post-event webinar. We did that last year, and it was so lovely to get together again and see how people integrated from the very high vibrational event. So that's more information to come on that. But Jean, we're thankful that you can join us as well. Awesome. Cool.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Yes,
Thank
yes, thank you. Beautiful Karsten Spencer. Karsten is going to be driving down from San Francisco. So if anyone needs a ride, he's got space in his car. How cool is that? Karsten, you've come to visit me here in Costa Rica where I'm at, and that was really magical. I still think of you every day and the wisdom that you imparted. And you're really all about, here we're talking about, I'm gonna cry again. We're talking about the Lemuria remembrance and being in the heart. And I know I incarnated to truly remember this as well. And I knew as a little girl looking out at the world, I just saw certain things that were just so not Lemuria. And they just didn't fit in my understanding of unity and how we care for the earth and all her beings. And so your wisdom is really about presence. So we can bring all of this from Lemuria, from our remembrance of it, but stay so true in our now presence that we're not projecting or sad or trivializing our experience, but just being here right now. So share with us about this presentation that you're going to bring forward for us.
Well, thank you, Loren. And it's so powerful. I'm sitting here listening to all the other speakers, and when San Ra did her song, as she reached one of the final tones, it felt like the closing tone. My third eye began to itch like crazy, so I began rubbing it, and once again I connected with Metatron, who's one of my guides. Really, Metatron and Kuan Yin are the two that really guide me. And Metatron said, as I was tuning into it, he said, "I'm Atlantean, but Kuan Yin is your Lemurian connection because she connects you with the earth and the trees." I speak to the trees. I also have spoken with animals ever since I was a kid. And I'm sitting here with little Maxie, who the minute he's my miracle cat.
Oh, you're muted. You're muted. Your miracle cat.
My miracle cat, Max. The minute Lori started talking about how she speaks to animals, Max was sound asleep, and he looked up and he looked over, and the similar thing happened when San Ra was singing. He looked up and started looking around. So my sense was, because he tunes into this thing, was she was calling in through the computer some sort of energies. My sense was they were from Lemuria. But I looked at Max, and his pupils got big and then small, and then big and then small. It was magical in here. And as I'm hearing each of those speakers talk, it's just another indication of how divine timing and the synchronicities are just drawing us together. I'm so excited to be with everyone. And I think Loren, you were really clear about, I think, what the special gift that I'm bringing is to call these energies in. So much of my frustration being intellectual, a big part of my consciousness is, intellect. I want to understand it on an intellectual level. Well, my guides just keep reminding me the intellect has been overworked, darling. It's time to tune into the experience within. Anything you need to know will come to you through those aha moments, when not only is it a mental aha, but you get the goosebumps. You feel it actually activating in your body, because we forget that we're evolving with each breath, physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. And I work with crystals, so the gift that I'm going to be giving during the weekend, or the time together, is a Lemurian seed crystal rainbow body activation. Because I work with my voice and with crystals. I've got my Lemurian crystal here along with some other ones. So it's really going to be an experiential thing where we call in that connection.
You're muted again. The Lemurian seed crystal muted you this time.
I'm telling you, when I do my Zoom group, sometimes the computers will just cut out or something will happen. And I've learned that it's telling me to shut up, you're talking too much. So maybe that's it. But I'm excited that we were talking about past lives, because I think I'm going to add another special offer during the retreat. I've already got one where we're going to be tuning into the Tibetan Buddhist seed syllables, the warrior seed syllables, and I'll share more about that during the actual retreat. But the other thing I think I'm going to offer, because I've been doing this a lot lately with clients, is past life integration and activation, where we tune into our past lives. And the clients I've been working with lately have had some really powerful experience tuning in to past lives that have to do with this specific lifetime, and helping healing and understanding come in with certain relationships we have. But what I want to specifically focus on, especially now that we're did this, how do I call it? It feels like a reunion to me, this retreat, because as I listen to everyone else talk, I just feel this kind of aspect of this soul family coming together, and I'm excited to tune in more for myself to the actual lifetimes back in Lemuria, because I've been listening to a dweller on two planets, and it's so fascinating hearing the details. And as I'm listening, I'm getting the message from my guide, which was, yes, you lived lives in Atlantis, but the most potent ones that you're now sharing with the world is what you learn and the gifts you're bringing from Lemuria. So, and I've always had, when I was a child, when craziness was going on in my family, I would leave civilization and head to the canyon in the backyard and speak with the trees, and there was a stream running through. And so I've always had this connection with trees and with animals, and it wasn't until I first heard the word Lemuria in my 20s that it sparked that same connection with nature and animals, and I somehow knew that I had a connection. And so that's what I'm really excited about. The thing that I'm going to be giving is very experiential. I work with my voice. We'll be activating the chakra system along with the crystals, with the intention of allowing people who participate to open up those channels so they can begin to connect through their DNA, because we all have it in our DNA. The entire history of Mother Earth is there. We can connect with it physically and experientially, so it can begin activating what they call the junk DNA, and we can feel that evolving start to happen. But it will also allow us to listen to the intelligence that's in our DNA, those aha moments, those visions that you get, the dreams that we talked about. So I'm getting really excited about it, and it was great to see Sherry, because we're going to be sharing accommodations down there. So it was great to have a moment to hear her and see her, and I'm really excited about just connecting with everyone and just having an experience.
So beautiful. Thank you, Karsten. It sounds really luscious. As we know, Tibet, that has always resonated with me. And my husband actually went there physically, had an amazing experience. And Jean, I know that you and we have a past lifetime. This is a little thing that I have. I see Jean in this. It's like, Jean, this is our connection for the webinars that we do. And so Lemuria is connected to Tibet, and there's stories. It's even connected to Venus. There's a story I won't go into. What's her name? Oh my gosh, she's eluding me right now, but she's from Venus, and she recalls coming in on a ship as a child and doing an exchange with another child and living on Earth. And so it's quite amazing. Even in Bhutan, the Tiger's Nest Temple, when you look at that image, the first time I looked at that image, it's on a cliff. My whole body lit up, and I was like, that's an entrance to inner Earth, and the secret, the mystery. Is it a mystery of Lemuria? But there's information in those temples, and so the connection to Tibet is really good. So wonderful that we're going to be working with the seed syllables of Tibet as well. Thank you, Karsten. Jean and Shambhala. Thank you, Carolyn. Shambhala is in Tibet, and that whole Himalayas, absolutely. Jean, I know you might have to leave. There it is. There's the Tiger's Nest. Look at that. See, that just resonates. I've got to go there. Before the pandemic, we were planning to go in 2020, and it's like a 2-hour hike up there to get there. It's literally on the side of a cliff. And that is so beautiful. it just strikes a chord within me so deeply. Okay, cool. All right, so Lori, Jean, if you have to pop off, thank you. Thank you for being here. We look
Thanks.
forward to our time together in our live stream with you. And yes, so no worries about that. Again, questions. We've got one person with her hand raised. Susan, we're going to get to you. We're going to allow you to unmute. But first, I want to get with Lori. Lori, you work with whales and dolphins, of course. So let us know what you're going to be presenting on as well.
Yeah. The main focus of our presentation will be on understanding the communications, the history of the elders who are the whales and dolphins, and receiving their healing. In my world, they are the most powerful healers on the planet. They have been here for literally millions of years. Some people say the whales have been here 500 million years. They originally walked upright on the land. They were the first beings to incarnate here, is what they've told me, from the star system Sirius. There's so many stories connected to that, but for 19 years, I did whale healings and clearings based on my telepathic connection to them and seeing the results of working one-on-one with people, which moved me into an experience where I started taking people out on the boats to various locations like Hawaii, where we could connect with their energy. And I'm speaking mostly now about the humpback whales. We working with their energy. Now there's scientific proof, and that's thanks to Dr. Emoto, the Japanese scientist, and Dr. Todd Ovakaitis did work over in Japan using whale sounds to clear the toxic Japanese tap water. And not only did the whale sounds clear the muddled water, what they photographed after listening to the whale sounds were the molecule of the double star tetrahedron, which is the molecule of the Merkaba, or the light body. And so you see, for at least 16 years, I'd been doing light body activations. Starting in 2012, we were guided to the island of Kauai. As many of you know, some of you were there. And we were told to open the Stargate on the northeast corner of Kauai, which at that time I didn't know about. That's called Anahola. And the white whales returned to the planet, and they committed to being cosmic conscious creators. They're here now. And they have embodied into 12 different physical forms in different places on the planet. And they're here to help us restore that light body at a more accelerated pace. And they use their tonality to literally change the molecule in your body. The experiments that were done in Japan, we'll talk about in 30 seconds. Listening to whale sounds, your blood starts to change. The crystals in your blood starts to change. This is why I say they're perhaps the most powerful healers we've ever encountered. And it's taken us these many years to even come to a consciousness where we can start to remember who they are and what their great gifts are. The other thing we'll talk about is the dolphins. Dolphins are toothed whales. Specifically, the bottlenose dolphins have told me that they are the epigeneticists of this world. They have been given the gift by Creator to change and calibrate your dormant DNA. We all have 12 strands of DNA. I know science only teaches you about 2 of them, but they're actually 12, which is, from the whale concept, the human avatar blueprint. And they're not activated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. They're activated in a way that's in correspondence with what your higher self will allow for and give permission for. And we learn about the 12 strands of DNA, and this is also part of our school. We have a school now called the Whale and Dolphin Energy Medicine School, where we train facilitators in these years of teachings the whales have given me to go out into the world and facilitate, not to be the whale or the dolphin, but to facilitate their teachings. And we see thousands and thousands of people healed. It's amazing. We're starting our 5th year in October. So we'll be talking about that. But the most important thing is you're going to have a whale healing and clearing. You're going to meet the white whales, and there will be, it's a short period of time. Obviously, it's only a 2-day conference, but you will also get to experience the dolphins. And for those that come in person, we'll be going deeper into that on the beach ceremony, which is the 3rd day of the conference, June 21st. We're going to actually build a medicine wheel in the sand. And we'll talk about the shamanic ways, which of course relate to Lemuria, the power animals, and how we can connect more deeply in the physical world to understanding the directions, the power animals, and the history of the shamanic people, which of course came from Lemuria, and now they're all over the world in many different indigenous tribes. So we'll talk about that. And then we're going to go into a journey, an etheric journey with the whales into the water there in Laguna Beach, because there's crystal caves under the water there. And there's crystal energy in the sand. Years ago, when I first started taking people on the boats, I said to the dolphins, what do you want me to tell the people? And they showed me, they took me up, and then they had me look down into the ocean. They showed me like moving crop circles under the water. And it was all done with crystalline energy, which are seriously like sacred geometry. And they said, we're changing the sacred geometry in people's bodies through the coral and the crystalline energy in the sand. And this is, again, we have the largest population of dolphins anywhere in the world here. We have over 500,000 dolphins in Southern California, and they're doing amazing work. So you're going to connect with them too. Actually, I hope the whole day with that. And then we'll take that journey I talked about earlier, using the well consciousness to journey up to Mount Shasta to go under the city, under the mountain into the city of Telos. So we have a lot to do. And of course, there's the soul renewal, lots of affirmations and prayers about remembering your place in Lemuria. You wouldn't be here right now on this call or coming to this retreat if you hadn't participated in some way in the physical during that first golden age. And it's time to remember. And from the dolphin's perspective, as you activate the dormant DNA, see, those memories are stored in your body. So it's not like you have to go out and get them. They're already within you. It's about remembering. And it's about allowing that heart connection to be made so that the memories can flow freely. And then changing our light bodies, right? Putting more, what is light? This is my partner. What is light? Light is wisdom. Light is healing. Light is information. So the more light we can carry, the better. The more expanded we'll be, the more accelerated our awakening, and the sooner we can create the Lemurian concept, which is heaven on earth. So there's a lot to look forward to. And again, I just want to thank all of you for being here and for opening your heart to receive this message. Thank you. Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you, Lori. Okay.
And now you.
Yes, we're going to take some questions next. So if anyone in our audience would like to ask a question to any of these beautiful speakers, go ahead and raise your hand or put it in the Q&A box. So my memory of Lemuria, I told you a little bit about it. It is something that is deep within my heart. It resonates with every cell of my body. And I found myself in Guam, a Pacific island. So when I touched the water and laid in that water, it was so warm and I felt like I was at home. The same thing happens when I go to Hawaii. I've literally seen one time I had this rash I won't go into it, but I went out in the sun in Hawaii and within 15 minutes it had cleared up. And this is the healing frequency of Lemuria. And so when we can feel so held and at home, it's quite beautiful. So that's my connection with Lemuria that I absolutely remember. My presentation will be assisting you to realign to your soul's mission, to tune into that soul's mission. Much of what Karsten's going to do with past lives, this is that life that we know that is within us, the DNA that is within us. And so how do we bring that forward and how do we move forward on our earth right now? That's what I'm going to help facilitate in a session that we go through. We're going to go through our sacred heart. I love to call it the Lemurian Heart Temple. The Lemurian Heart Temple is when I found my soul family. I see Elizabeth's question here that this all is making her remember our beloved Shirley Irene Ponto. Shirley Irene Ponto and I and Michelle Anderson started the Lemurian Heart Temple. Wow, in 2007. How long ago was that? That's really, wow. That's a long time ago. I won't even do the math. Shirley is no longer doing these meditations, but she is still available on Facebook. So if you have Facebook and you can send her a message, she does get those. And so send her a message on Facebook and tune in. And she has always taken us to Telos and all of these beautiful places. And now I'm thinking I'm going to try to get a song from her. She's also a singer that literally sings us awake. And she and I met in person on Kauai. When I knew that she was going to Kauai to visit her family, I had to go visit her there. And it was just so wonderful. So this is part of the reunion that we can all experience. We know when we see each other that we've known each other. And so we're looking forward for this event, whether you join us in person. Oh my gosh, if you join in person, that boat trip with the dolphins on Dana Point, how special is that? I know not everybody likes to go out on the water, but that's where I met Lori in person. I met Lori in Hawaii on a boat trip with Joan Ocean. Again, there's that connection, remembering Lemuria. So it is a reunion of all of us. However, if you can't journey to that physical location. This technology is so fifth dimensional. This Zoom that we're on right now allows us to connect in the heart sense. We will be singing and dancing in the live stream with you. When we go on breaks, we're going to be playing music and you're going to be a part of us and you're going to feel this vibration. So please join us and come in to this heart-filled space. We're really looking forward to it. The link for that is in the chat box on our Zoom webinar. It's also in the description of wherever you're watching this video, and also where you're watching this video. So check it out and feel into it and join us. We are excited. Thank you. Okay, so let's see. There's two Susans with their hand raised. Susan B, you can unmute yourself and you can ask a question, whether it's the group or into someone specifically. Susan B, if you're still with us, you can unmute. So I'm going to go to the other Susan. Susan. Hi, you can unmute yourself. Say hello. Hi, Susan.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you, Lauren?
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, I don't know who can help me with this question, but I've been having like journeys at night. I don't know if they're to other planets. I see different people all the time. And in a past life regression, I was told I was a high priestess in Atlantis. Now, if I was in Atlantis, could I also be in Lemuria too, or is it just they're two separate entities?
You can definitely be in both locations.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, there was an overlap in my memories and teachings, but Atlantis existed primarily after Lemuria sank. So it's very possible that you were a part of both civilizations.
Because I keep seeing the color pink a lot, like a fuchsia pink.
Like
Is that
often that's the combination of the male and female energies that come together in the heart.
Oh,
it's one of the soul rays.
Yeah,
well,
and my sense of, if I can jump in, if you guys can hear me.
Yes.
My sense is that absolutely, I think most of us have had lifetimes in both. Yeah, and I would say the stuff that's coming up in your dreams are a wonderful way to open to past life remembrance and past life integration. So just be aware that you know, someone who knows to, rather than them telling you what your past life was, the work that I do, you actually experience those past lives. We connect with your higher power, and through that connection, you are guided to the exact lifetimes that will resonate with this lifetime now and help clear old karmic patterns.
oh, thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Actually, I have a YouTube video where you can go, and it's since I don't have much of a voice, my partner Steve and the narrator for it, but it takes you step by step through your experience into a different lifetime, and it's free, and you can just go do it anytime you want. And if you can send me your email or whatever, I can send you the link to that particular YouTube. It's really
Thank you for that.
So you put it in the chat.
I'll put it in the chat. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Because my husband has to do this for me because I'm sight challenged right now.
okay.
So my wonderful spouse here has been helping me out.
Yay for spouses.
And
I
that-
know, right? Aren't they great?
Yeah, that's Bob. Hi, Bob. Another Bob.
Hello.
Another Bob.
Cool. Okay. Thank you, Susan. Good question. Yes.
Thank
We
you
have
so
people
much.
saying that they remember that Anayoko remembers, I was a king in Atlantis and I'm a Lemurian. Ah, very cool. You know, I remember being a Lemurian in Atlantis. That's crazy, huh? I remember being a Lemurian in Atlantis. And I also remember being in Atlantis working with crystals and dolphins. So yeah, very cool, these memories that come across. Lauren, what is the name of
Thank
your
you.
channel?
I like that.
Lauren, the name of your YouTube channel, what is it?
Don't remember. If you type in Lauren O time or Lemuria and Lemuria, you'll find me. There's about 15 YouTube, and they're all Lemurian exercises.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
And everything.
She'll send everything in. Okay. Thank you, Bob.
Okay.
I was meant to be on.
Yes.
What's your step?
I wanted to say also that in my work with people, I've noticed a couple people that have been ambassadors between Lemuria and Atlantis.
Hell,
They,
well, they sent you something.
first, and then Atlantis and Lemuria coexisted, and then Atlantis came after. So there are people that have worked with both in real time.
Yeah.
And I can share a past life recall that I had a number of years ago, where I was a woman. I lived up in the mountains. I was Lemurian, or that was the connection I had. But I was drawn to move into the city, and I used to run. That was my joy. I could run, and as I ran, I would tune into the vibration of Mother Earth through gravity. And the more I ran, the more energy I would get. So when I got to Atlantis, because they were much more competitive there, I began joining these foot races. And what happened is I lost my power to tune into Mother Earth because I became competitive. I was tuned into that energy and I needed to win. And that was a very powerful lifetime that really helped me in this lifetime, really tuning into my divine feminine energy and trusting that over the masculine stuff that is so present in this world today. That competition stuff.
Cool. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that question. Linda, you can unmute yourself and ask a question to our panelists. Hi.
Hi, thank you. It's just a great honor to be in the presence of all of you. I have a question in regard to the Lemurian seed crystals, which I've been working with for just about a year now. How do we begin to access the information that these crystals contain? Or does that just unfold over time as we kind of grow into this consciousness of who we truly are?
I'm glad to jump in and answer that. It's also some of the other work that I do, because so much of us who are on this spiritual path, and they'll hear speakers like us who apparently have we've had these experiences, so we deserve to be the speakers. But the truth is, all of us have equal access to these divine connections, and the most powerful way to start is trust your imagination. Crystals speak to everyone in their own way. My experience for myself and most of the clients that I work with is they start by speaking with us energetically. They don't necessarily go to the intellect. So tuning into your body as you hold the crystal. I've got my crystal here, and what makes Lemurian crystals activate is they've got these little patterns within them, which actually it's a language, but it's a language that's not intellectual. So to sit and hold your crystal and rub it and just allow yourself to be in whatever your feeling vibration is, let that be enough. If there's anything more that needs to come to you, it will, trusting that. And it may not come to you in that moment. It may come to you in a dream. It may come to you through a connection with nature. But the crystals, since you've already have them and you've been wanting to work with them, they're already downloading information and things to you. They work with us very often, first physically, to activate the communication between the chakras. And the intellect sometimes is going to be the last thing that gets the message, because we've overactivated that intellect. So what we want is to focus this big frontal lobe on what's going on down here. And then the information will come, as I said before, in those aha moments. But trust your imagination as you're tuning into the crystals. Another thing to do is have a piece of paper or a journal and a pen ready. Take 5-10 minutes just to rub the crystal, breathe into it, and then just do some automatic writing. Open your eyes, don't think, just write and see what comes up. That can also, and even if it doesn't make sense or it doesn't have anything potent for you, the act of doing it begins to open that channel. So I hope that's helpful.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you. I will be listening to all of you online at the retreat. Thank you so much.
Blessings.
Okay, thank
So I
you.
put on the chat, I put the address to follow through my website to the YouTube.
Thank
Correct.
you for that, Lauren. So the YouTube videos from Lauren Time is here in the chat. Click in that now so you bring it up on your computer. And subscribe to Lauren's channel. I'm sure you're going to want to watch those videos. I know I am. I'm going to be busy this afternoon.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you for that.
And Loren, I put my email address as well as the connection to my website in the chat. And anyone who's listening, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm glad to answer any questions you have.
I already sent you an email.
Oh, great. Thank
Cool.
you.
Great. Okay, thank you. And all of our speakers, you can put your information in the chat box as well, if you'd like. Okay. And if anybody would like with any of these speakers and you don't know how, you can get in touch with me and we'll put me or Lori and we'll put you in touch with everyone. Okay. Melissa. Hi, Melissa. You are up next. You can unmute yourself and ask a question from our panelists.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that very much. I'm just feeling, I'm feeling very honored and I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful that you're all here today. That was a lost puppy this morning. I was like really wondering why I was still here. And so I got my memory, which my question is going to evolve around this. So many things connected to Lemuria, like Loren, when you were young, that same thing for me, being a child and, you know, this world not looking like what you know it to be, right? And the only thing that would keep me here when I was a child and growing was my connection to nature. And it was so, so strong. And then in the 80s, I had a reading with someone and the person that came through said, we're acquaintances from Lemuria. And I hadn't really heard of it then. That was a long time ago for me. I was, born anyway. But he said, like, you are one of 3% here on Earth to awaken the memory of Lemuria so that the Earth can be the way that you see Earth. And, I didn't tell him anything, but he explained exactly the way I saw Earth when I opened my eyes when I got here, and I've never been able to lose that vision, right? No matter how hard they got, I've always held on to that, and I will. But I had so many different things come up around Lemuria after that. Like he had given me a couple of healing tools. He said, you used to do this kind of healing when you were in Lemuria, and you have to remember how to do this so that you can help people with this. Then I was told I was the guardian over the animals of Lemuria. I was the one which I could really relate to. And then, oh my gosh, so many things here. But then I had all this conflict over Atlantis, but then I remembered this. And then I was told that Kuan Yin and I used to heal together. We were in the crystal chambers. We would do healing together, but that was on Atlantis. And then I would have these weird dreams about that where there was something, I don't know, that I'm supposed to bring to the attention so that we can pay attention between Atlantis and Lemuria. I'm sorry, I'm just being flooded with all this information because I've gotten, like, my dreams. I used to dream every single night. I would fly around the earth at night singing these healing songs, trying to heal the earth. And I had an eagle's body, but I had my head, so that I was singing. It was my head, but an eagle's body. And it just, like, I've just had so many experiences, the same, and then, like, even with the dolphins and the whales, and like, my parents couldn't drag me out of the water when I was a kid because I kept telling them I'm going to die. You can't take me out of the water. I need to be in the water. And just like, but I would never swim. I would just kind of like do all these swirls under the water and fly. It was almost like being a dolphin or something. And then I guess I'm going to ask you a question too. My son was like this as well, and very, very connected to the whales. I mean, he was like super, super connected to whales, but also the birds. And he could communicate. Oh, never mind. He could do these things. But I was told, and he was told, because he kept telling me, we have to go to the Hawaiian Islands. We have to get there. We have to get there. Yeah. And I said, all right, we'll make that happen somehow. Well, then I was told that he was going to go to the islands because he knows where, this is so frustrating for me. He knows where there's very important sacred Lemurian information that needs to be brought out for the earth, for humanity, for this, for us to heal, for this to be, and anyway, he's not here in the physical now. He's not here in the physical, and we never made that trip. So one of my questions was, how, I mean, I just feel like that I can't let go of that somehow, because I feel like that's still important. And I don't know if I'm going to make a journey, he's going to come through, he's going to help me, or what I really feel like is I've been alone on this journey. I mean, completely honest, like this call today and other places through, like with Loren, these things, this is the only connection I've had that's been this way. Otherwise it's been just, like when my son and I were together, we were different. I mean, we were totally, every single thing, we were like conscious, right? So like everything that happened meant something, every single little thing, every tiny, I can't even explain it, but that's how we lived. It's almost like, like we were in this world, but we weren't of this world. And that's how we lived, and we had each other. And then suddenly he was gone. And so I'm trying to find some way to share, or I just don't want to leave this world without my mission being accomplished. And that's where I was struggling with this morning, that I could go on for hours about all the mystical experiences I've had and things where I know that I'm here to do something and share, but I don't know how to connect. Lauren T, when you talked, I was like, oh, I got these downloads and dreams of making these movies that will help awaken people and help them understand. And some of it was, and so I thought, oh, maybe I can help you, maybe I just feel like, I deep in my soul, I have a mission, and it's to be of service, and that I have wisdom and knowledge to share. And
Melissa?
Most of all, love. My heart is just pure love. I just, like, I could just
Melissa?
hold anybody in compassion, and don't know what
Melissa?
to do. Thank you. Yes.
This is Lori Rion, and
Hi,
we're
Lori.
so enjoying hearing, and supporting you as what you're going through. But I feel I could give you a message that might help you. In my work, for really about 15 years now, it's about returning to living and creating from the heart. And there's where your answers will be, Melissa. You'll have the guidance there and the communication with your guides and the angels and the whales. Right now, part of your consciousness is in your mind. And there's some shame and there's some blame going on there, which is not a part of who you are. You are absolutely divinity embodied. And you absolutely do have many life missions to accomplish, but they're never going to come from the darkness that you're sort of portraying to us now about, like you've made a mistake or you've done something wrong or not completed your mission. This is not where the spirit of your higher being, or what we will call Mother, Father, God, wants you to feel. We want you to feel supported, especially with a community like this around you. And if you want to contact me, I would definitely guide you into some exercises that would help you return to the heart. The heart is the key to everything. And the heart can only allow you to feel love. And when we can turn this mind off, it's a polarized ping pong game. You can do it, no, you can't. You can do it, no, you can't. You can do it, no, you can't. All day long. And part of this is our culture. Our culture has taught us to go into the mind, to analyze things, to try to figure things out. They've even put us in schools to take tests, all against the spiritual teachings of Lemuria and who we really are. We were always meant to live like the dolphins in a pod, where we're sharing the good of the many, not the self. And when we can return to that, one person at a time, returning to the heart, and it's a day by day, moment to moment decision to do that. But when you can come back here, you're going to feel completely different. And you're going to receive guidance and wisdom. And all of your special gifts, including clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, will click in. Maybe not all on the same day, but they're going to happen. And you'll start to feel the support that is really the truth of who you are. If you could just for a moment imagine all of the support around you in spirit, and then all of the support around you from the dolphins and whales and from the angels and from communities like this, you won't feel alone. And you'll get the support and the need, like Lauren's talking about making a movie. She's going to get the support to do that. She's going to have to do it by herself. I know, because I made a movie called Ascension Guidance back in 2015. I have no skills in that area. 68 people came out of the woodwork to do it with me.
Wow.
And now it's there and it's free. And it's a step-by-step primer on how to raise your vibration. Step number 1 is learning how to breathe the unity consciousness, connecting to the earth and to the sun as the portal or gateway for Father God, to source light, and then coming back to the heart. So if you feel what I'm saying has resonance for you, contact me, and I'll give you a meditation, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about how you can coach yourself back to the heart, and all of this will come to fruition for you. I know it. Okay, and we just all send you love.
Melissa?
Thank you, Lori. I appreciate that. I definitely related when you brought up the shame part, because I do have a memory of making a choice that, affected many. And it's one of those things that that's where I'm in my push me, pull you, right? So I really am a being of the heart, but there is this shadow side that wants to, punish me or whatever it wants to do for making this wrong decision that, just isn't
It's not real. It's not real. And I'm just going to ask you to stop even focusing on it right now. Just cut that cord, snip it. Don't keep saying it. Don't keep bringing it up. Don't keep saying I have shame and blame, because you just bring it back.
All right.
Okay, it's about turning the page.
Yes,
I
would definitely agree with Melissa on that. And I think what the heaviness that you were feeling today before the call, my sense very strongly once you started to talk, that was your son wanting to contact you, and the heaviness is the old story. So I've got to jump off because I'm working with my sister. I'm directing her in her one-woman show. But I'm glad to connect with you. So feel free to reach out, and I can help you connect with your son. And I think that's a lot where the angst is. He's been really wanting to help be the conduit to help you share all the stuff you're talking about, and he's there with you. All right, thanks everybody. I'm gonna jump off now. I'm sorry I can't be.
Karsten.
Thank you, Karsten. That was beautiful.
Such a
Very
gift. I can't wait to
heartfelt.
be with everyone.
Thank you.
All right,
Karsten.
sending blessings.
Thank you. Thank you. Big hug. Big hug. Thank you, Melissa. Melissa, please read the chat. There's some messages for you there, sister. Okay. All right. So we are coming up to our time. Look at, I see 2, 3, 4 on my clock, and that is progression, forward motion. So we have time. I'm going to take Nanette's question. Nanette, if you want to be real quick here, you will be the final question of the day for our speakers. If you're still with us, Nanette, then you can unmute yourself. Nanette. Okay. All right. So that is probably a natural culmination to our call today. You can feel the support in this group. You can feel the reunion in this group. We can feel our hearts opening in this group. And so we're so grateful for this gathering, this sacred container that has been created. Lori, I thank you for that. Thank you for including all of us in this big dream of yours. And we are excited for it. As we say goodbye, I want to give each of you a moment to say goodbye. Lauren.
Bye for now. And as the French say, au revoir, which means until later. And blessings.
Sally, Conrad, and Bob.
As we listen to everybody, it's just evident how many roads there are to Lemuria.
Yeah.
And how each one is valid for those who walk it in sincerity. We've really enjoyed this, and we're looking forward to getting together with you on the 19th.
And beautiful Lori, thank you.
On behalf of Master Cat Puda and I would like to do a prayer. It's called actually an affirmation. It's a little bit of the work we'll be doing together. So if everyone would just put your hand on your heart, and if the words that I'm going to say align for you, please take them in. I reconnect spirit and body. I reconnect heaven and earth so that my body and soul are one. My soul connects to my heart center in love and peace. I manifest from soul and spirit into matter, following the laws of divine creative power and balance. I create a garden of peace and creativity within my heart and soul that manifests all around me. I am connected to the powerful flow of divine creative intelligence, and I direct this flow into magical manifestation through my intention and focus. I live without fear, without expectations and attachments, but simply in the flow of love, creativity, and divine manifestation. I have mastered the fifth dimension of oneness and released the hold of duality and shadow on my life. I am ready to embrace the love, the creativity, and the magic of this dimension or higher and flow with the powerful light codes and currents without any fear. I am ready to balance myself between heaven and earth, to create unity balance, and to step forward as a master of these energies on earth. I am that I am. So be it, and so it is. Much love.
And so it is. Beautiful. Well, thank you, everyone. This has been a beautiful time today, and we're really looking forward to this event with everyone. Please join us. You'll know it in your heart if it resonates with you, and we can't say enough how much we love you and care for you, and how much we love and care about Lemuria, the motherland. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We look forward to seeing you. And as we say goodbye, we're going to do an aquatic meditation, dolphin and whale healing for just a few moments. Feel the sounds of the cetaceans and their support and love for you. I want to thank my wonderful guests. Thank you for being here. And we are looking forward to seeing you very soon. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aloha.
Oh,